Now, from a rather big box and also from a retail perspective, I'm really excited to have my friend Katherine Stout here, because Katherine is from Williams-Sonoma. And I got to tell you, as a consultant to this industry, I've lectured around the world on dealing with aspects of marketing and building businesses in the design industry. One of the biggest questions that I always got was, we're afraid of, these retailers. These retailers are going to put us out of business. And yet, my friends at Williams-Sonoma have created the design trade program. They've created a program to embrace the trade, recognizing once again that there are trade professionals out there. There are so many sources to get product, from the design centers to the retail sources, from antiques to from your own attic, and yet this is just one more perspective. So I thought it would be really interesting to have Katherine here. And actually, just before I have Katherine, I'm going to ask my dear friend Julie Rask, who's charged of their design trade program, just to raise her hand, because she's been a colleague for years, and actually she introduced me to Katherine. So without Julie, I'd have no Katherine. Katherine actually is a former consultant from Bain & Company, which is a very high-powered consulting firm, and she lives and works in California. Williams-Sonoma is in San Francisco. She has the good fortune of living in Mill Valley, which is just a little piece of paradise. And she's their Vice President of Business Development for Williams-Sonoma, and she oversees many initiatives for them, from dealing with consumers and retail, to dealing with the trade program, to dealing with internet initiatives. It's complex. It's a complex machinery. And Williams-Sonoma is well situated, more so than many companies, because they have very low to little to no debt. And I think that's an important thing to point out. They have operated their company very wisely. And Katherine's been with them the last 7 years, and I'm really excited to hear what she has to share with us. So, welcome. Thank you. She gets applause.
All right. Can you hear me? Is this all right?
Get a little closer?
No?
A little closer.
There you go. Better? All
there
right.
we go. Good.
When Sims was talking about inspiration and being at a company that's got a lot of heritage, I have to, before I start talking about the market, which isn't as positive as what I'm about to say, Chuck Williams, who started Williams-Sonoma, he still comes into the company every day. He's in his early 90s, and he reads every recipe before Williams-Sonoma publishes the recipe. He gives input. He sits in the food design meetings, and he's a real inspiration to everyone, whether you're in the furniture side of the business or the food side of the business. It's pretty amazing to see someone who's so dedicated and to live out his vision of having one store, now over 600 stores. So it's pretty inspirational. It's not a great time to be in specialty retailing, especially in the home sector. It's a little challenging. So I can appreciate a lot of what you've said, and we've been doing a lot of the same thing. We're kind of finding ourselves in the Oh, can you not hear? Is that better? Okay. Is that better? Can you turn it up a little bit?
We're gonna go ahead and adjust it. Just give us a commercial moment here. Thank you. I suppose she could, but why don't you let us work on the microphone for a moment? Thank you. Can they move forward? That's a great idea.
All these solution-oriented
we have seats in front
people.
for those people that'd like to come forward.
Hello? Can you hear it? Better?
Much better.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So I was saying that it's a hard time to be in specialty retailing right now, especially in the home sector. With over 600 stores across the country, it's a pretty expensive proposition when the market starts to go south. So we can appreciate a lot of the tips that we've been hearing about, things you do in times of crisis. I will say that the hustling is a really good point that was made by Mark. I started about 6 years ago a business-to-business effort at Williams-Sonoma. And a lot of what I heard when I first came to Williams-Sonoma was what Lloyd was saying. We can't sell to designers, we're their competition. But actually over the years we've found there's a great synergy with the designers. And just by taking a focus area that did very little in sales and actually really going after it, we've built a team that's been very successful in selling both gift cards and merchandise to people like yourselves, to home builders, to incentive programs on the gift card side. And we started a whole new business, which I'm happy to say year over year has grown, and even in 2008 grew double-digit positive growth compared to the rest of the company, which if you read our press releases was very soft, and we continue to project soft sales and earnings given the market environment. So it goes to show that even in a big company you can be very scrappy and really drive results. And so I think there's a lot of learnings there that could help many of your businesses. But going back to the bigger company view, we are in a situation where we really need to think differently. And it's helped us to do a lot of things that we probably should have maybe looked at a long time ago. There's three key things that we're doing that's really helping us, I think, and as Lloyd said, not having debt and having cash and being able to make some decisions for the business that can really position us for when the market does come back, and we do believe that it will. We think this will be a long cycle, but we do think that people are going to continue to invest in their homes, and so we feel positive about that. Some more so than others, but I'm a positive person in general, and I think if we wait this thing out and we're well positioned, when the market turns around, we'll be in a good space for it. But the three things that we're doing is, one, cost cutting, and you've talked about that, really focusing on what do we not have to have. We've got to keep the things we have to have, but there's a lot of things that we don't have to have. But let's not cut too deep so that we're not ready for investing in things that are smart. We're investing in things like the internet. We're doing things that make sense, but we are cutting deeper than we might have to. So if the business gets worse, we're not in a situation where we keep laying people off or we keep going deeper and deeper, because you can't keep your people motivated. And so what we've done is said, hey, we're going as deep as we think we need to go now. Let's focus on the next 6 months, and let's look at it. As Lloyd said, none of us really know what's going to happen. So let's look at it in quarter by quarter increments. The second thing is we've got some great brands, and we've got some really good strengths in our retail stores and in our customer base. So let's really understand how we can leverage those, and let's figure out the right marketing mix. In many ways, like Veranda, we're in the catalog business, and we have really, really nice catalogs that are very much like the publications. So we look at ourselves like shelter magazines in many ways. How much should we be investing in that versus the internet? So really looking at our marketing vehicles and saying, what's the best thing for our customer now? How can we shift the mix while still being dedicated to the catalog? I agree. I don't think that the shelter magazines or the catalogs will go away. I think it's very important for people to have the feel and the tangible lifestyle that we present in the shelter magazines. Veranda does a great job of doing that. And so we think that that will continue, but it may look a little different. And then the third thing is really the most important thing, and I think it's the reason I stay at Williams-Sonoma, is the focus on the customer. We are all about customer service, and that's the same thing. It's your business is all about the people. We can sell products all day long, but we're delivering a solution to our customers, and I think that that's really important. So we're trying to figure out now, in this recession, how do we look at customers and figure out what's important to them? How do we market value to them in a meaningful way? And as I said earlier, on the business side, you're all our customers. So what would you want to see? And I'd like to, as we go through the questions, hear things about what you'd like to see from big box retailers and how can we work closer with you. One of the things we are going to do is we're going to launch a loyalty program this year. So everybody can buy from us and you get a trade discount. Are many of you signed up for the Williams-Sonoma trade program? Has to show of hands. More people need to be. Julie's going to help us with that. It's not going to go too far into the promotion of our brands, but there's an opportunity for us to work with you. And there's an opportunity. We've got a lot of customers. So for those people that we work closely with, we'd love to have store events where you come and speak to our customers about things that you think are inspirational. We want to have places on the website for you to do that. So we're working on a lot of things this year to try to bring together our business customers, all of you, with our very valuable and large customer base, and we think there's a lot of things we can do that'll strengthen both sides of the business. So we're really excited about that. That's kind of good overview.
That's good.
That's where we are.
Thank you very much.